Hi, my name is Thor Harris. I moved here in 1985 to go to art and music school. Really what I wanted to do was start putting bands together with all the interesting weirdos in town. So I got a job at Thundercloud, and that's where they hire weirdos. I think my first band was called Stick People. I joined this band Shearwater around '99. I joined the Swans and started my own group, Thor and Friends, and we play all over town. It's sort of a modern classical group, so we can play libraries and we can play bars. I'm firmly rooted in East Austin and I love it here. But another thing that keeps Austin livable for me is HAAM. And HAAM is a huge part of what makes Austin livable for any musician. Right in the middle of Texas, there's an organization that gives health care to musicians. I learned about HAAM probably 20 years ago. This was well before Obamacare. HAAM would actually email me and tell me, hey, it's time for your yearly checkup or whatever. And I was like, wow, someone really cares about my health and they're reminding me to get preventative care. It was just amazing. The help that I get from HAAM to cover my premiums is huge. It would be really hard to work a 40-hour-a-week job and still have a vibrant music life going. Thor and Friends, all these people are from different backgrounds. There's some queer ones, some brown and black folks, all different ages of people and genders, and we could put together these huge long pieces of music that were sort of like meditations. We did a percussion ensemble performance using 2 construction dumpsters. It was called Dumpster Fire. Me and 8 other percussionists and some robots, and we had like an hour of interesting rhythmic music. Just a lot of fun. Like, kids came to it and loved it. It's gotten much harder for young artists to live here. I don't know how they pay the rent, but they still are coming here and they're still forming super interesting bands. Like, people still go out and see music every night of the week, and that's a huge part of it. The reason that the tech industry moved here was because they came to South by Southwest and thought it was a lot of fun. They saw the music scene here. So it kind of all started with the music scene. If you want to keep Austin a really interesting place to live, helping musicians to live here is a good place to start. HAAM is just the jewel in what keeps Austin livable for musicians. I cut my finger on my bandsaw one day, and I called up my cousin and said, hey, can you help me? I think I severed a nerve in my finger. And I flew to New York, and my cousin Al, microscopically sewed my digital nerve back together. And it would be much harder to play clarinet if this finger was numb. Then that gave him the idea to start Musician Treatment Foundation, which is another nonprofit that's a partner of HAAM that treats any ailment from fingertips to shoulders for musicians. And I run into musicians all the time now that have been treated. Also, another thing that I want to talk about is I go to the YMCA to lift weights, and I ride my bike there every day, which is like more than half of the workout, but I use it just about every day. HAAM is they just do an amazing job of involving so much of the community in taking care of musicians. Although music is a ridiculous way to try to make a living, it's a pretty amazing way to build community. I access hope by playing music. Music is one of our highest callings. Music and bicycles. Those are the only 2 good ideas we've had, I think. Everything else is a little bit fraught. But music and bicycles, wonderful. Nothing wrong with those.